Gravity, any day above ground, live it. Hope you're having a fantastic start to your Friday and your weekend. You don't listen, but everybody will figure this out later. It's okay. So, we're going to talk about this because this has been coming up the last few days in regards to what's going on out here politically and what's also been happening since 2023. The fall of affirmative action and its consequences. Now, again, we've been here. I told you this was going to happen. We laid it out consistently. We showed you what the plays were going to be. We showed you how they were going to react. Here we are now. So for all them Asian folks who ran and were celebrating this, all those black folks that were celebrating it, white folks with their legacy admissions, Latinos, all you that were celebrating this, all you DEI, this shouldn't be around folk, here we are now. Because your family tells you you need to go to college to have a great life. Never mind the fact that most people shouldn't even be in college. But hey, they know best. So you see this article that we have up on NPR. A looming demographic cliff, fewer college students and ultimately fewer graduates. Now, this came out earlier this month. Let's see what they're talking about. Pickup trucks with trailers and cars with yawning trunks pulled up onto untended lawns in front of buildings for which people lug books, furniture, mattresses, trophy cases, and artwork. Anything else of value that had already been sold by a company that specializes in auctioning off the leftover assets of failed businesses. At least one of the buildings was soon to be demolished altogether, its red brick walls dumped into its 1921 foundation. This was the unceremonious end of Iowa Wesleyan University, a 181-year-old institution that closed in 2023 after financial losses due in part to discounts it gave out as it struggled to attract a shrinking pool of students. When a college closes, quote, all the things that are mementos of the best 4 years of a lot of people's lives are sold to the highest bidder, says Doug Moore, founding partner of a firm that has helped handle the logistics of shutting down 4 colleges in the last few years, including Iowa Wesleyan. The outlook, Moore and others experts say, is that there will likely be many more such scenes in the years ahead. That's because the current class of high school seniors scheduled to graduate this spring will be the last before an expected long decline begins in the number of 18-year-olds, the traditional age of students when they enter college. This demographic cliff has been predicted ever since Americans started having fewer babies at the advent of the Great Recession around the end of 2007, a falling birth rate that has not recovered since, except for a slight blip after the C-19 scamdemic, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Demographers say it will finally arrive nationwide in the fall of this year. That's when recruiting offices will begin to confront the long-anticipated drop-off in the number of applicants from among the next class of high school seniors. But the downturn isn't just a problem for universities and colleges. It's a looming crisis for the economy, with fewer graduates eventually coming through the pipeline to fill jobs that require college educations, even as international rivals increase the proportions of their populations with degrees. Now you understand why they want to keep flooding the markets with international talent. The impact of this is economic decline. Jeff Stroll, director of the Georgetown University Center on Education and the Workforce, says bluntly, as fresh data emerges, the outlook is only getting worse. It's getting only worse. An analysis by the higher education consultant firm Ruffalo Noel Levitz, using the latest available census figures, now projects another drop in the number of 18-year-olds beginning in 2033. After a brief uptick, by 2039, the estimates show there would likely be 650,000 or 15% fewer of them per year than there are now. These findings sync up with another new report released in December by the Western Interstate Commission for Higher Education, which says that the number of 18-year-olds nationwide who graduate from high school each year and are therefore candidates for college will erode by 13% or nearly 500,000 by 2041. A few 100,000 per year might not sound like a lot, Stroll says, but multiply that by a decade, it has a big impact. This comes after colleges and universities already collectively experienced a 15% decline in enrollment between 2010 and 2021, the most recent year for which figures are available. According to the National Center for Education Statistics, this includes a drop-off of more than 350,000 during the first year of the pandemic alone. That means there are only 2.7 million fewer students than there were at the start of the last decade. In the first half of last year, more than one college a week announced that it would close. Still, more research from the Federal Reserve Bank of Philadelphia projects that the pace of college closings could now accelerate. The news is not all bad. For students, it means a buyer's market. Colleges and universities on average are admitting a larger proportion of their applicants than they did 20 years ago, new research by the think tank the American Enterprise Institute finds. And tuition, when adjusted for inflation, is declining, according to College Board. Housing and dining charges continue to increase, because that's where they get their money from. But it's funny because we said this. Who the hell is going to want to go to college? You're paying like $40,000 a year. And even with the scholarships and financial aid, you're still plunking out 5 figures. Because you know they're not going to give everybody a free ride. You know this. The likely closing of more colleges is by itself a threat to the economy. Nearly 4 million people work in higher education, the NCES reports. Though the most imperiled colleges tend to be small, everyone that closes translates to, on average, a loss of 265 jobs and $67 million a year in economic impact, according to the economic software and analysis company Implan. While the fall off in the number of 18-year-olds has been largely discussed in terms of its effects on colleges and students, the implications are much broader, however. Here we go. You're going to love this. In an economy that depends on skilled labor, we're falling short, says Catherine Bonhill, an economist, a former president of Vassar College, and the managing director of the higher education consulting firm Ithaca S&R. She points out that based on NCES data, the United States has fallen to 9th among developed nations in the proportion of its 25 to 64-year-old population with any post-secondary degree. We should be aiming for number 1, and we're not, she says. The diminishing supply of young people will continue to be a massive labor shortage, with an estimated 6 million fewer workers in 2032 than jobs needing to be filled, according to the labor market analytics firm Lightcast. Not all of these jobs will call for a college education, but many will. 43% of them will require at least a bachelor's degree by 2031, according to the Georgetown Center. That means more jobs will demand some kind of post-secondary credentials than Americans are now projected to earn. Still unpublished research underway at Georgetown forecasts major shortages of teaching, healthcare, and other fields, as well as some level of skills shortfalls in 151 occupations, Stroll said. If we don't keep our edge in innovation and college-level education, he says, we have a decline in the economy and ultimately a decline in the living standard. It's almost like when people told you, focus on the trades. You can still do the college thing, but focus on the trades. Give them the opportunity. No, you let them schools close. It's amazing. You don't even have to go to college to do computers. You could have went to a trade school and did it. But they didn't want you to do that. They wanted you to put it in college because they know you can be indebted to them banks. It's a nasty system. If we don't keep our edge in innovation and college level education, he says, we'll have a decline in the economy and ultimately a decline in the living standard. A scarcity of labor is already complicating efforts to expand the U.S. semiconductor industry, for instance, the consulting firm McKinsey & Company warns. It's a major reason that production at a new $40 billion semiconductor processing facility in Arizona has been delayed, according to its parent company. A worker shortage of the magnitude projected for the coming one hasn't happened since the years immediately after World War II, when the number of young men was reduced by death and disability, Stroll and others say. And this worker shortage coincides with a wave of retirements among experienced and well-educated baby boomers. It's kind of a remarkable moment in our history, says Luke Yankovic, an executive vice president and general manager at Lightcast. We have a lot of people moving from economic producers to economic consumers, and there just aren't enough people coming up behind them to replace them. The falling number of 18-year-olds is compounded by other issues, including a sharp drop in the proportion of Americans in the labor market, particularly baby boomers who retired early and men derailed by substance abuse or incarceration. I wonder why. I wonder why. I wonder why. The proportion of men 20 and older in the workforce has declined from around 76% to start a Great Recession to around 70% today, the Bureau of Labor Statistics reports. I wonder why. The decline in high school graduates through 2041 is projected to be the most severe in the Northeast, Midwest, and West, where fertility rates have been generally lower than in other regions into which fewer families have moved. I wonder why. You'll love this next part. In all, 38 states will see declines, WIC estimates, WIC estimates some of them much steeper than the national average. 32% in Illinois, 29% in California, 27% in New York, 20% in Michigan, 17% in Pennsylvania. I wonder why. In places where the number of high school graduates remain stable or increases, meanwhile, will be largely because of one group, Hispanic students. They're going to have to change these numbers. The proportion of high school graduates who are Hispanic nationwide is expected to rise from 26% to 36% by 2041. We'll circle back around this in about 4 years. See if that's actually true. But Hispanic college going is below the national average, has been going down. U.S. Department of Education statistics show. All of these things present a combination of factors that we haven't seen before, says Emily Wadhawi. We already know where this is going. A senior director of credit rating agency Fitch, who works on higher education. Falling enrollment, meanwhile, has been made worse by a decline in perception of the value of a college or university degree. 1 in 4 Americans now say having a bachelor's degree is extremely or very important to get a good job, the Pew Research Center finds. Among high school graduates, the proportion going straight to college has fallen from a peak of 70% in 2016 to 62% in 2022, the most recent year for which the figure is available. The only thing that will restore stability in the higher education sector, says Wadhawi, is a renewed sentiment that it's worth it. Damari Michelot, the president of WIC, I just want to see something real fast. Makes sense. Calls these trends the most perplexing set of issues to face higher education planners and administrators in a generation. There are other customers for college, of course, including international students, students who are older than 18, and graduate students. But these other sources may not be enough to make up for the coming declines, experts say. Now that Donald Trump is about to start a second presidential term, 58% of European students say they are less interested in coming to the United States. According to a survey conducted in October and November by the international student recruiter Keystone Education Group. And despite colleges' attempts to recruit students over 25, their numbers have fallen since the Great Recession, the Philadelphia Fed calculates. Many older students say they are discouraged by the costs or have families and jobs, which colleges don't always accommodate, or they started college but dropped out and have a little inclination to go back. On the campus of Iowa Wesleyan, the old gym was stripped of its wood flooring and whatever else had value and was then ripped down. The cornerstone fell into the pile of rubble. It bore the date of the college's founding, 1842. In so many of these towns, their identity is inextricably linked to the college that's been there forever, said Doug Moore, the man who oversaw the liquidation. It's a huge source of local pride. It's also a big source of good paying jobs that are not replaceable. The process of shutting it down, he adds, is brutal and painful. And yet he knows that in the coming years, more colleges and universities will likely go under the auctioneer's gavel and the wrecking ball. You have a staggering number of variables facing colleges and universities, supply and demand. You've got to evolve and adjust or die. They don't listen. They don't listen. What y'all talking about? And good morning. I forgot to tell y'all good morning. How y'all doing? Let me see. Shout out to this Hotep Strong Dad. Shout out to him. They still going in on Vivek. We got a thing coming for Vivek soon. And you gonna like it. Let me see. Where did he put the post? Actually, you know what? Let me go to my page because I had tagged them in something. Wait, it's in replies. I think we might be doing a live later about the plane crash and how they're stuck in a DEI bubble right now. Where the hell is it? Are you saying this crash was a result of a diversity hire? It could have been. All right, Trump. Talk your stuff. Where the hell is it? This is killing me. The reason why I'm doing this, family, is because I saw a post with one of the Hoteps. I'm trying to see if I could find it. I don't know where the hell it is. And he works in the trades, and he was going back and forth with people because he basically said that you need to prioritize trades instead of college because not everybody can go to college. I think I'm close. And people were in his comment thread yelling at him. No, that's Black Shark. Where the hell is it? Oh, Jesus. This is why I always make sure I bookmark stuff. Oh, and we got something coming on Vivek too. Because this apology tour is on. It's sad. And the fact that people are still sitting up here. People are still sitting up here caping for this man, talking about how great he is. And they're praising the fact that he has a early lead in Ohio due to polling. And I'm looking at them and I'm like, you guys can't be this dumb. Let me see. I think we can find. No. Here you go.
A little bit ago that I agree. What up, y'all? So the homie, he said something.
Thank you, FBA Queen, for the $10 super chat. That is a blessing. I know I should have bookmarked it. I did a repost. I figured it might have showed it, but whatever.
A little bit ago that I agree with, and I'm gonna add to it. What he said was, black man, right now it's time to go to those contractors and get some work. You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna add to this. My brother, because of the vacuum, right? Most of these contractors, whenever they hire people who have immigrated illegally, right? Whenever they usually hire a whole family. They usually hire 3 or 4 in just one go, okay? So what I'm telling you is to do this. Don't just show up.
What the hell? Why did it stop?
To the contractor yourself. Make sure you let them know, hey, I got 2 to 3 homies who are ready to work right now. Or show up as a group of 2 to 3 and say, hey, we are looking to work for work. We're looking to fill those positions. And I'm going to tell you what, stop trying to be picky over what they pay you. This is the trade industry. This isn't working at Walmart or the grocery store. This is the trade industry. So what's going to happen is, even if they don't want to pay you that much, you're going to be getting literal skills. Okay, and these skills, they can't be taken away from you. When you work behind a desk, or you work, at a place with a kiosk, them's ain't your skills. You get fired, and they just train the next guy to press the buttons. You feel what I'm saying? But if you're working for a contractor, you're developing skills that go with you. You see what I'm saying? You don't take the kiosk with you, but if you know how to drywall, if you know how to paint, if you know how to do concrete, any of that, right? You take that skill with you. So when the contractor says, I'll hire you guys, but I can only pay you this much. That's fine. That's fine, sir. That works for us. Take that shit, run with it, gather those skills, and I promise you, depending on the trade, by the end of the year, you'll be well enough that you can do it on your own. Y'all can start an LLC and do it on your own. You'll know how to advertise. You'll know the basics. You can take the smallest jobs and continue to build on your experience to the next thing you know, you're a full-fledged, highly accredited company in your neighborhood. All right? This is how you take advantage of what's going on. Don't listen to these people that are telling you to put down what you need, put your family to the side, get out and march for them, when you know damn well every time they get something, you ain't getting shit and you just gonna keep marching. Don't do that. Don't listen to that. You get your homies and you go get them jobs that have been vacated, because they believe in their hearts that Americans, especially black Americans, don't want to work. That we don't want to do shit. That we're too fucking lazy. Prove them motherfuckers wrong. Show up there and get whatever you can get until you can get it on your own. You feel what I'm saying? That's how if we want to fix our communities, support our businesses, we got to be able to fucking make them. You feel what I'm saying? Don't march for people who ain't working for you. Do this shit for your own, all right? Brothers, get out there. Get them jobs. You need them. We need them. The black community needs them. If we take this opportunity, if we take a stand now, that's all I'm saying.
All right. That's what he said. Now, finally found the post. So he said, I see there are some who hear me say that black men should not worry about getting the low pay and worry about getting the trade jobs that are being vacated. One, low pay is relative. Most trade businesses offer entry-level employees with no experience, a pay rate that is often as high as a manager's pay rate at McDonald's. Things like Labor Ready and other base-level trade companies might pay less, but they put you on the job site. And often you can bounce from that position to a higher position if you do the grunt work. And even then, those companies at a base level pay around the same as an entry-level McDonald's employee. Like I said before, McDonald's trains you to be a button pusher and a bag filler. And when you quit, you can't take the buttons or the bags with you. So what are you going to do with skills do you really have? And what skills do you really have? As a painter, I started off doing grunt work for $18 an hour. After a month, it became $23 an hour, and I was upgraded to a third crew member of a 3-man crew. That was when I started. I now own a painting business. I don't know a single man who owns a trade business today who doesn't have a similar story unless he went to trade school. Most of us start out as a grunt and have made it. Like I said before, why hustle for Amazon or McDonald's for the same amount of money when you can hustle for a contractor who will give you something in return besides a paycheck? He's not going to give you a cheeseburger or half off your next Amazon purchase. He's going to give you the skills it takes so that if you wanted to, you could quit his crew or start a business of your own. Those who don't see the value in that will never understand value. This guy said he had 11 years of touring experience. He had to work in the shop and prove himself. Okay. Here we go. You know how hard it is to find people under 40 that have the least bit of worth ethics for the trades. You hire a 20-year-old as general labor. He hardly works. The solid guys try to teach. And then when he gets a bill paid, he walks off the side. We run through 5 of them a month. Well, you can't help that. My last gig was marketing an economic development program in New York State. The opportunities for welding, CNC, electrical tech are crazy. There are apprenticeship programs, good wage benefits, college reimbursements. This reminds me when I brought on that HVAC dude a couple years ago. Them shits is open. You start off making about 70. There's a whole list of trades dying for new help: carpenters, painters, welders, plumbers, roofers, electricians, ironworkers, pipe fitters, operators, concrete, road building. It's time for America to show that if you have a good crew that's been properly trained and tested, you can crank out work a lot more quickly, higher quality, worth the extra money. As a contractor, I approve and appreciate your messaging on this. I've had people from all walks of life starting as temps who get on the job site and work and then float right on to be permanent employees. Before you do anything, tighten up that resume, validate any job gaps, and stay at a job as long as you can. If you're switching jobs every year, you are unsatisfied, and can my positions keep you? Most days I'm unwilling to make that assumption and will go for the person who has worked the hard jobs and kept them for at least 3 years. Don't BS me either. Tell the truth. Companies are not willing to take the chance that contractors are. If you don't know the trade you want to do, consult with your rep at the job agencies. Get out there and try it all. Find the one and focus on who does it best. What GC company or builder has the model you want to work for, and get on that site. They use a lot of temps. Get roomies. Go live with your parents or rent a studio and live below your means. It will pay off shortly. First investments are not cars and homes, but 5 pairs of great socks that can last. Wash them by hand as often as you can. Good steel-toe boots. Test them with socks you invested in. Good PPE. Save your personal protection equipment. Save your hands and back and head. Most companies provide it, but never be without your own, especially with contractors. Pocket notepads and pen. Keep them in your car. Write down the people who run the site and instructions. You may forget on how to do whatever you're being taught. Age is a factor only on job stability. If you could keep a job and stay with it, I will interview you. 60 is the new 40, and I'm here for it. For the young ones, 18 to 40, you have an amazing opportunity to turn this into your golden goose. Women, you have a chance to support your husband and stand with him. Notice I did not say man. If he's not willing to marry you in his come up, he's most likely won't marry you when he makes it. Save your womb and your body for the man who believes you are worth the investment like his career. All the ones who disagree with this will have miss in their title. All right. I'm a nurse. My brother does air conditioning. He's making 3 times as much and about to retire. He's 13 years younger. I'll drop dead work, and learning the trade is the way. Great post. Most of our workers started 2025 with 0 experience. 100%. Less than 5% of minimum wage workers stay at that level more than 1 year. Those who do are there because they have deficient job skills or poor work ethic. For all the haters who think you can't learn a skill trade online. All right. And it goes on. Let's talk trades with Jonte. All right, we check this out. Maybe I'll bring him on the platform. What he looking like? Yeah, we'll bring him on. I'll reach out to him. All right, let's see.
Do you have to have entry-level experience to get into trade work, right? Our contractor is going to hire you if you don't have any skills. Now that there's this vacuum, now that there's a vacuum, are they going to be like, well, you don't have any skills? Well, first of all, a lot of these good paying trade jobs,
Don't start.
they don't require you to have any skills. They just require you to have work experience. As long as you've had a job or two, then you're good. Some of them, they'll take you straight out of prison with no job ever in your life. You see what I'm saying? And I can't count. It's funny because when I was living in Colorado, I can't count how many large construction companies were owned by guys who were locked up. Admittedly, locked up. You know what I'm saying? Showed up with no experience on the job site, got trained up, and now they own it themselves. Now they run it themselves. Now they do it themselves. Now, let's say you want to be like an architect, right? You can do one of these entry-level jobs with no experience and pay for your lifestyle until you become an architect. While you go to ITT Tech or whatever you want to do. You want to pay for that certification, but you don't have the money? Again, if you're working at McDonald's, just fucking pay for the certification. But if it's really a case of it just seems like it's out of reach because there's all this do one of these other trade jobs and you can get in. Some jobs, they require the prerequisite to get in. Let's say you want to, you want to put up walls and shit, right? You want to do remodeling, but you don't have the experience, so the guy won't hire you. Become a drywaller and be a drywaller for a couple years. If you don't like drywalling, at least you'll make a shitload of money, and then eventually you can reapply, and you'll probably get into that job. Or you could even be a fucking painter and get into that. There's all of these avenues to succeed. There's no reason why we should be failing, all right? Everybody, whenever we mention something good, everybody's looking for why it won't work. And it's good to try to look for the ways that something may fail, the ways that something may not actually succeed. But the mentality that it can't work, that they won't do it, that you won't succeed, has to die. There is no limit to your ability to achieve whatever lifestyle you want. If you just want to live a regular, normal life, you know what I'm saying? Just you're not trying to get the big house, but you're not trying to be poor as fuck. You could just be in one of these good trade jobs, and then eventually you own one, and you just run that little thing. And there's a shitload of plumbers who live good in their apartment, and that's where they want to stay. They do exist. The guy who trained me in painting, when I joined a company called Ireland's Finest in Colorado, and they did a whole lot of work on the historical district.
I'm sorry, but see, comments like this, this is why we're not gonna get nowhere. Why would you come on here and say the person's right and wrong? Explain it. You're saying we should fill the void, but then we should be developing thinkers. Who the hell told you couldn't do both? Not everybody can be a thinker. Not everybody can work with their hands. You need balance in the community. Oh, man. Let me help you, Talib. Yeah, them Mexicans and everybody else y'all be talking about. Yeah, the father and mother bust their ass either working in restaurants, cleaning, doing landscaping, fucking working at a public storage or something. And then them kids go become doctors and lawyers. Balance. They open a restaurant. Balance. And everybody thrives. The parents front load the heritage and front load the legacy. The kids pick up the back end and then create their own. That's how you're supposed to do it. You hear all them stories. Yeah, my parents came here from communist Cuba. And look at me now. I am the mayor of Miami. My daddy washed cars. My mama cared for white people's kids. And I take the lessons and I saw the heartache and I saw the tiredness in my daddy's back and my mama's legs. And I said, never again. So I worked hard all the time. I didn't go down the road of Tony Montana. I said, I am going to be Angel Hernandez. And look at me now. I am the mayor of Miami and I'm running now for governor. And look at me and my beautiful family. Fucking idiots, man. All right. And look, somebody said you're talking generational, so you should be the construction worker so you can send your child to become a banker. You're thinking short term. It's why Black Americans will always be behind. No, I mean, that's your opinion. Then, because some chick who looked nice in her Avi, you agree with her because she said some people are gifted with their hands and creativity. We need those people because not everybody's built for the office. Now you agree with her. But this dude tells you the same thing and you call him a dumb man. Pussy dangerous. I'm sorry.
Down in Colorado, and the guy who trained me up was 65. His name was Tom. It's an old white guy, and I used to ask him, why won't you do it on your own? Why won't you run this shit on your own? And he literally said, I'm not interested in all that. I make good money. I just want to just do this. Like, he's been a painter. Hey, sweetie. Thank you. He's been a painter his whole damn life. Just living in a company. You can do that if you want that. Or you can have more. You can do it on your own, or trade work is really, it's really where it's at. It keeps you healthy. It keeps you outside. It keeps you busy. And again, if you're like, no, I like this tech shit, then do that. No one is saying STEM is bad. I'm just saying there's not a massive vacuum in STEM where Black men can take advantage of. You gotta get in where you fit in, and
Facts. The black male bubble for STEM was in the early to mid 2000s. That's why it's very difficult right now for black men to get into STEM. They prioritize the women and they prioritize the immigrants. Because they saw black men coming and they knew what was going to happen. We would have dominated the market. But, such is life.
You got to get in. But when it comes to trade work, there's literally, you know what I'm saying? Someone poured half the bucket out. Y'all got to fill that shit up before other people fill it up. Because other communities, they already know this. And they live here already. And they're like, yo, we need to take advantage now. So, I'm just saying,
I don't see what he told that was a lie. They need electricians right now. Do you understand what's going on with this weather? What is the one concern that everybody has when one of these bad weather events or natural disasters happen? They need people to cut down them trees and they need people to get back the power back on. Hell, you can go learn this stuff and then you can be a traveling electrician, a traveling tree cutter, making bank. I work in trades. I cook for a living. I'm never gonna be without a job. Never. I can stay employed. I could leave my job tomorrow and get a job by Monday. Tuesday the latest. Not knocking people that went to college, but y'all know how difficult it is to get another job. This is why I told y'all years ago when Indeed was having job postings. After you do that, they would ask you, or was it LinkedIn? One of them. They would ask you what your relevant skills were. They would make you do those assessments. Now they stopped doing them. I don't know why. Probably Ed Blum said it was racist. Do you know how easy it is to fix a sink? A clogged sink is not that hard to fix. If the plunger doesn't work, it's not that hard. You can make money off of that. Because you know people don't know how to act with their plumbing. You know that. You got people that back up toilets. You got kids flushing stuff down there. Money. I know what it is, though. It's people scared of pipe fitting. That's what they're scared of when it comes to plumbing. I fixed toilets. I fixed them. I fixed the sink when I used to live in New York in our apartment because I couldn't wait on the landlord. I went on YouTube and figured it out. Like, why would you put yourself in debt if you don't have to? Think about it. I'm a tradesman, right? I'm considered a tradesman. Ladies, before I say this, I apologize for what I'm about to say. I apologize. Sincerely, I apologize. But when you're a tradesman, the amount of vagina you pull is insane. Do you know how many men have gotten married having a tool belt on them? Lady, tell me the truth. Y'all look in the niggas' hands. Tell the truth. Y'all be looking for the scars on the palms. Tell the truth. Y'all be checking the size of that man's hand when he shakes your hand. You trying to see if you really, if one of them hands could grip your whole ass. I know that's y'all's dream man. The one man that could grip your whole ass with just his hand. One hand. Do y'all not come out with the tray with the iced tea when he out on the lawn fixing the lawnmower? Tell me I'm lying. Ladies, tell me the truth. If you had a man and he had his own electrician business and he had the truck parking in the driveway at night, tell me you don't run outside in your robe and rub your titties on the panel of the van. Tell me y'all wouldn't do that. How many tradesmen have sat home, sat in the kitchen after a long day, and old girl bring the food over and start rubbing your shoulders? You incel niggas act like y'all can't get no. I'm telling y'all, get in the trades. You get all day, all day. You be fighting off the pussy. You watch in a couple years, chicks are gonna start asking on social media, yo, what trade you in? Promise. Let you say the right trade. You begin fixing in your DM all day. What can you do with that screwdriver? Say less. I got a knot right here. Use that ball peen hammer you got. Talk to me. Now, FBA Queen, now come on now. If your husband had a panel truck with his own business on it, business phone number, them tools locked up real nice, you ain't finna tell me you ain't gonna be outside in your brassiere rubbing at night about 12:30 where everybody's sleeping, rubbing your thing on the panel. Don't even try to lie. Don't even tell me you wouldn't do it. You would do it. You be for that man come home and you be in the kitchen looking sexy for that man, cleaning all his tools. And be like, yo, girl, what you doing? Like, I'm cleaning your tools. I'm like, all right. Come on now. Should I be making that good food? I know my wife she be trying to hold it in. Fellas, I know I'm bringing it down to its base level, but young man, y'all got to understand. Y'all leaving so much money and prosperity on the table. Especially in this day and age, you tell a chick, listen, she's like, how old is you? I'm like, I'm 21. Man, what you do? I do HVAC. What that mean? Like when air conditioning, make sure your heat stay on. I don't sound like no new job. How much you make? I'm like, I just got raised too. What I'm making about? What they put me at? They put me about 95. 95 what? 1,000. So what you like to go out and eat? You see how quick she'll change. 95K. Come on now. 10 years, you'll be making 6 figures. And doing the same thing, except you gotta have a crew. Come on now. Come on now. Especially them hotel gigs. Shit. You get the hotel or the hospital. Man. My uncle did that. God rest his soul. He did that for Sloan Kettering up in New York. Come on now. Just there, you crazy. They're begging for people to come into the trades right now. They're begging. A few years in, you can demand 95K. Trust me. I know people like that. I know somebody did it 5 years. He making about 160 right now. In New York. So imagine if he was anywhere else in the country, he'd be making more. He does HVAC and he also does electric. He goes out to them hospital systems they got in New York now. That's another thing. Y'all got to make sure you're getting them hospital systems. He works for Lancome, NYU Langone. So he just goes around to different hospitals doing HVAC and checking the electrical work. Come on now. The opportunities are out there. Hell, they even tell you the easiest business as a tradesman to do is landscaping. That's the easiest. Start in your neighborhood. All you need is a lawnmower, and a couple tools. You can keep it in your car. In a couple years, you could build it up, get your own van, and then you could start hiring maybe one or two people, and you every couple of years you just keep expanding. And like 5, 10 years, you could have a crew, another van, and you guys just be hitting neighborhoods two at a time. You just gotta do it. Facts. Person holding a stop sign making 50K. And that's just for a few hours of work. I'm down here in Atlanta, and they got the Spanish folk doing that. The stop slow signs. Exactly. Black people would love to see black people doing their lawn. It's out there. You just gotta make it happen. Like, you try to tell people this, but you know what it is? A lot of these kids, especially Gen Z, I'm sorry if you got Gen Z kids or you're a Gen Zer, a lot of them got lazy. The parents coddled them. And by the parents, they were like, listen, there's too much BS going on in the world. I don't want y'all exposed to that. I'm like, they're gonna have to go out there. You're not with them 8 hours, 5 times a week. They're already exposed to it. You gotta mitigate it. That's why a lot of these Gen Zers and these AAs that are gonna come behind them, pause, they're not gonna understand that the world is hard work. Hell, if you're that scared, I'll give you the easiest way you could start the trades. Very easy. Home Depot or Lowe's. Don't be a cashier. Work with the aisles. I know the orange apron don't mean. I think you might think it's like minimum wage. Learn that shit. Especially if you do want to do construction, work in the lumber area. Learn your lumber. You want to be an electrician? Work in the lighting department. You just gotta want it. We'll see. See, here's another one. You think? Listen, Harrison Ford was a carpenter before he became a successful movie star. You didn't hear him complain. You gotta do what you gotta do. Look at this. Look, nah, man, that is hard work, and you have to show up every day. I don't think you're up to it. Trying to say that black people are lazy. You see? All right, dude. Y'all should have woke up after Sandy and how that storm decimated whole communities. Yes, we should have woke up, but we didn't wake up. Hell, you could do all this and you could still do your hustle on the side. There you go. Landscaping up in the Chicagoland. Chicago ain't got lawns. By the way, I remember that episode of Family Matters where Carl had to go get Eddie out of that bar, and he saw the bill, and he said, "I paid a third of I paid our landscape a third of what you paid here." I was like, "Bro, we seen the front of the house. Where y'all got this lawn at, sir? You mean that little patch in front of the house? Come on, dude. You pay $60 for that? Come on. We seen the backyard. That look. Never mind. Never mind." Oh, they did that on Long Island too, Cosmo. They got all them landscaping signs out now. That this company talking about you don't hear no noise. I'm like, bruh, go get that. All y'all need to do is work about a year landscaping, get some business cards, like, and start going to the new developments. That's where you should. That's where black folks should be attacking. All them new developments that be popping up, they gonna need landscaping. All those housing developments they building out in Gwinnett and Cobb and DeKalb. Like, listen, don't be listen. We a new company. We just trying to establish ourselves. We've had great reviews online. People are satisfied with our work. We take constructive criticism. We want to be able to be. We just want to like leave our, especially if it's an HOA too. We want to offer our services. Hell, do one house first. Let them tell their neighbors, hey, them dudes over there, they're good. And they're efficient. Hell, you could do a whole street. You could live off doing a whole street. Starting out. You could literally make your investments back right there. There you go. Hampton and Riverdale. Hmm. Even Stonecrest, they're still building up Stonecrest down here in Georgia. They got lawns. People gonna need lawn work. Mm. Yeah, you just gotta. And the funny thing is with this trade stuff, this has been going on for years. There's been reports coming out. These contractors and subcontractors were like, we got the jobs. We just need people here. Some dude said he willing to start somebody fresh out of school at 88,000 just to get people in there. Come on. Exactly. If you don't want to start your own business, you can go get the federal contract. You get state contracts. Like I said, with the hospital systems, they're all building up now. Contracts. Make it high fives, low sixes. But they don't want to do it. Can't force them. Hey, ladies, I'm gonna need y'all to pull a Chirac real fast. I'm gonna say I need y'all to tell these dudes, listen, we ain't gonna get y'all none of this unless you go get a trade job. You heard what I said. Let me see how quick they gonna get it. There you go. There's nothing wrong with learning how to put in cable. Nothing wrong with that. And we know we all going to streaming service, but guess what? Everybody still need Wi-Fi. Learn how to set up Wi-Fi hotspots. There. I just gave out free game. Learn how to make Wi-Fi hotspots that people don't need a cable company for. There you go. You're right, Zavon. It's a dangerous job, but guess what? You'll never be without work. You'll be sitting at home praying for a storm. Like, shit, I'm about to make hella overtime. Let's go. There you go. Trucking, too. But trucking... I feel like that's the easiest one for people to, like, try to run to. Because it's basically driving. Y'all over here complaining about the quality of the shit that y'all be buying. Yeah, let's go. No, Seven, what I mean is easy. It's like when you say go to the trades, everybody automatically says truck driver. Truck driver. But you the truck driver, so I don't know. That's the sign I see mostly. Become a CD, get CDL. Get CDL. Seven, you know it's more, it ain't nothing else but driving. I know. I'm just saying. What you mean you don't drive? There she go. Seven be on the mic, but like, where the hell you at? Hey, Kara, let me tell you something. Ain't nothing sexier in the world than a woman who know how to drive a stick shift. Where the hell are you? Come back. I was waiting together so much. You 12 minutes behind schedule. Swallow that sandwich and get on. And then Seven get off the mic, start eating some crabs. You heard what I said? I know she about to tell me she allergic to crabs. Watch. Yep, see, there it is. There it is. She gave me the middle finger. There you go. Oh, man. Oh, hey, you got to run to Atlanta. You got about 12 cases of crab shells. Wait a minute. This might be that Kid Gravity's address. Oh no, I'm going on this run with you. I go get my 12 case of crab shells. I get jumped. Miss Niecy's probably at work. You know how the white man is. It's the last day of the month. You running my ass out of Maryland? Listen, I'm gonna post up in Maryland and I'm gonna dare you. You know what I'm gonna do for y'all, Seven? Just cause. And I ain't even a fan. That's what I'm finna do. Just to show you how gangsta I keep it. Because I'm from New York. I'm finna walk in your city, in your state, and I'm gonna have on a whole Steelers jersey. I'm gonna dare y'all to do something. I'm like, yo, where y'all at? Ben Roethlisberger still owns you. I know you from Brooklyn. Yeah, your husband will love it, but you gonna be all right. You know what I'm gonna do for you since you from New York? Nah, I can't even do that. I can't even do that. Let me think. I'm gonna get someone to get mad at me. I know how to get mad at you. I'm finna make a lobster cake and say it's better than a crab cake. You heard what's it? Maybe I'll put up a sign that says Maryland crabs are mid. She said she a Buffalo fan. Oh my God. Is she from New York? Lobster cakes. What are you doing? I'm gonna put a business up in there called Baltimore. I'm gonna spell it just like that. Baltimore lobster cakes. It'd be like Baltimore lobster cakes. Instead of a pit bee sandwich, pit goat. There it is. Pit goat. Yeah, I gotta put a little Jamaican on it. Pit goat. They be like this. That don't look like no roast beef. I know it's goat leg. Eat that shit. Oh my God. Put a, I put a sandwich on there called the Wee Bay. Extra, it's gonna be medium rare with lots of horseradish. And every time you order it, you gotta say that's Shorty wasn't no cop man. That was one of Orlando's hoes. Let me stop, cause we know how Maryland is. This motherfucker said she got training in climbing coconut trees. You see this? You see this? Y'all see this, right? Why Carol look like the type she was climbing them coconuts and threw it at people? Hitting motherfuckers in their shoulders and their lower back. See? She climbed up a goddamn tree to get some nasty ass egg looking fruit and almost lost her leg. You see that? Goddamn Jamaicans, boy. Oh no. And I bet you when Carol almost lost her leg, her mama made her some cow foot. What you mean you didn't climb? So how'd you get the coconut? How'd you get the aki? Oh, you used the machete? Wait a minute. Did you whip out the machete? Did you whip out the machete and throw it up there and it damn near almost went in your leg? I don't know. I'm just making jokes now. um anyway, before we go, I'm gonna put up a. I think I could put up a poll. Yeah. Let me see something. Should we? Let's see. I'm gonna do it like this. I'm gonna put that up. No, it ain't good. See, there goes 7 lying. She said Aki is good. No, it's not. The fuck? Something wrong with y'all, man. That motherfucker be eating some nasty shit, boy. Oh, by the way, before we go, so who saw the this will be a little preview of a live I'm probably gonna do. I could actually do it tomorrow, actually. We're actually gonna do a StreamYard version because we got a lot to show you. But who saw the who saw the pilots of that helicopter and the plane? Who saw it? You know why it's a troll? You know why it's a troll-free day? Because I ain't talking about the Lord and Savior sounding like an idiot. I didn't put MAGA as one of the hashtags. They couldn't come in here with the BS. Oh, and funny thing. Remember how that one troll lady came up in here talking about she know about the gas and all that? Yeah, it's funny. I go do research, and guess what I find out? That if we got rid of imported oil, you do realize that oil would spike up to about $120 a barrel just for our stock? No, I tell a lie. I tell a lie. That's if you imported more. I tell a lie. If we did that, you do know that the American oil industry would tank. You do know that. Let me look. That woman failed to tell you that she's emboldened to OPEC. That's why I don't listen to him. OPEC is the reason why she has $200,000 a year. Barrels would be costing, if we follow Trump's plan, barrels cost $10 a barrel. Nobody making money. All them companies would close. And we ain't gonna have nothing. But I'm looking at the poll. I guess we're going to talk about Vivek. Yeah, we're going to do that. Because his apology tour has been hilarious. So we're going to get that done. I'm about to go do my taxes. So I will see y'all in a few hours. So y'all take care, stay safe, and you know what to do when the agents of chaos come to mess up your existence.